As gardeners, we're always looking for ways to enrich our soil and enhance our plant growth. And there's one easy way that we often neglect, but it also helps with the waste in the kitchen, and that's worm farms. So thanks for joining me on another episode, and stick around while we talk worm farms. Now, worm farming is something that can be enjoyed by the whole family because the kids can come out here, open up the lid, lift back the protective rug and sprinkle on all of those veggie snacks and things from the kitchen that the worms love to feast on. You'll see the worms come up and get in and amongst all of that and begin the composting. It's great fun and the kids love it. Now, setting up my worm farm was a lot easier than what you might expect. As I said earlier, this worm farm that I've got comes from my local hardware store and it's manufactured by a company called Tumbleweed. And before I go any further, I should probably mention that this is not a sponsored video. It was simply my choice when I went to my local hardware store. So the first step that I needed to do was actually break down the soil that they give to you in the packaging. It's all compacted and dried out, so you do need to put it in some sort of a bucket so you can rehydrate it with some water. I then put on the legs. They clipped on so easily. I didn't actually realize how simple this was going to be to set up. Now guys, just quickly before we continue, I want you all to understand that this journey of becoming self-sufficient and learning to create your own compost, your own fertilizers, and grow your own food is a fantastic and wonderful journey that I'm on. And I would love to encourage all of you to jump on board, hit that like button, subscribe if you'd like to follow along, and learn how to become more self-sufficient yourself. The next thing I needed to do was transport the wet soil from the bucket into the worm farm. Getting that foundation and that base ready for these worms is critical to their survival. And last but not least, the worms themselves. Now, when I purchased this packet, it did say 1,000 worm eggs, but from what I can see, there have been a huge amount of these eggs that have already hatched, and we've got little worms going everywhere. Now, something important to remember once your worm farm is built is where you're going to place it. They definitely do not like the heat of the sun, so I've decided to place it right here around the back of my house. It gets very little sunlight and it's also shaded by this palm tree here, so that will keep the worms nice and cool. And don't forget every now and then to give it a little bit of a water to keep that soil nice and moist. Well, that's pretty much today's episode, guys. I encourage you all to get your own worm farm and start producing your own compost as soon as possible. This journey of becoming self-sufficient and living more sustainably is so rewarding and so much fun. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I'll catch you on the next one.